It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. Can you believe August is almost over? Wow. Huh, it's flying.
Time flies. We're having fun.
Well, listen, we appreciate everybody out there listening to us today. If you would like to listen to us via podcast, you can find our podcast streaming anywhere podcasts are found. Another great show today, Brian. I'm excited to talk to our two guests. We have Tiffany Greene with Greene Designs and Theresa McKenna with Empowerment Strategies, Coaching, and Consulting. But before we get to our guests, of course, it's time for some Real Talk.
Last week, we gave you 5 tips on starting the search for your dream home. This week, we'll be answering some of your questions about down payments. Whether you've owned a home before or you're ready to jump into homeownership for the first time, there are always a lot of questions swirling around about down payments, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
You know, Dan, when I talk to people that don't own a home, especially like first time, I'll ask them, well, why not? The number one thing I hear is, I don't have a down payment.
Don't have the money set aside.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is the first question is, well, how much? How much do I need to set aside? And there's this misconception about down payment requirements. So we looked at a study by Converges Analytics, and the researchers found that 49% of renters believe they need at least 20% down payment, and that 40% of those individuals don't even know that they don't know how much they really need.
Right.
Yeah.
In reality, the median down payment on loans approved in 2018 was 5%.
5%.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I know.
I thought it would have been higher because
I did
we
too.
do have a lot of people who just figure it's got to be higher.
Right. So you wonder why consumers think that I think that's actually good news. Those waiting until they have over 20% may already have enough to buy right now. Additionally, there are many mortgage loans available that require as little as 3% down for first-time buyers, and some ask for only, I got that backwards, 5% down and 3.5% down from repeat buyers. There are even loans available for veterans that provide zero down payment options.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options. We're going to talk about a few of the others, but I think that if the idea is where we find ourselves with rates, and we'll talk during our mortgage moment, is the leverage that you get on less money is even better, right? I mean, if you're able to put less cash flow out of your savings account and move forward on buying something now, boy, what a great opportunity.
Well, I'm all about helping consumers eliminate debt, including mortgage debt.
Yeah.
But there's such the data is undeniable about accumulation of wealth and home ownership. I think you're better to jump in and own your home rather than, and pay your mortgage rather than paying somebody else's mortgage.
So because, even savings can be important, I've had a lot of people who are very strong cash flow, but they've been consuming, right? So they haven't been setting as much aside. So how can homeowners get help with their down payment? And the truth is there are down payment assistance programs. So Washington State has a grant, right?
Right.
And they just recently raised their income requirements, and we may ask our mortgage guy about what those income requirements, but if I remember, they bumped them up to like 140.
And we have a tool on our multiple listing service. I look at a listing, and if a home qualifies for assistance, there's a button I click that tells me all the programs.
Yep.
So any home that qualifies, we have the data right at our fingertips.
Well, what about the bank mom and dad?
Well, that's interesting because one of the things I've found over the years working with so many, typically this is a first-time buyer, is they haven't asked. And yet so often what I find is if you ask, they'll help out. And I think something that's been a surprise for many is they thought of it as a loan for a down payment, and it turns out to be a gift.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you work with people that love you.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
So the first thing we recommend in terms of down payment assistance is family members. According to the National Association of Realtors, a third of recent first-time buyers receive down payment assistance from family members. They also mentioned the average net worth of those aged 75 and over stands at $264,800. They just might offer the boost the next generation needs to become homeowners.
So the interesting part is how it's done. Like you said, a gift could be one way. They can also loan it, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that it doesn't have to be a payment loan. It could be just a loan that gets repaid when the house is sold.
So the lender typically requires the donor to sign a gift letter. But the purpose of that letter is that they don't the lender does not want an undisclosed loan. So the fact that the donor signs a gift letter does not mean that cannot be repaid later.
So how often have you seen that kind of thing happen, whether it be a loan letter, or a gift? Yeah,
100% of the time. But again, many times that turns into an actual gift, even though it may have originally been considered a loan. I think that's a family member.
But I mean, over the term of your long career,
yeah,
how often have you seen like a family member gift somebody or loan somebody money for their down payment?
Oh gosh, probably a third of the time working with first-time buyers.
Yeah,
just wanting to help them. Give them a stepping stone for their future.
Yeah, well, what we've learned in sales, if you don't ask,
that's right.
They can't promise you anything.
The worst they can do is say no.
That's the worst. Maybe, I don't know. They might disown you. No, I'm just joking.
Oh.
So let's see. What else is there? 23% of consumers are familiar with low down payment programs, which is why it's important to get familiar. So if you go to the Department of Housing and Finance Commission, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Washington State Housing Finance Commission.
Housing Finance Commission.
Right.
You can Google that, or even just Google Washington State Down Payment Assistance Program. It's a good program.
And one of the things to qualify, you take a class. I've taught those classes. I'm certified to do that. And a lot of it is just about good money practices. So it's really valuable material.
Yeah, that's right. Program. You do have to take a class. And one of my favorite parts of that class is the M&M's game.
That's right.
Have you ever played that?
I play that with clients too often.
So essentially, this game for the listeners is you get a limited amount of M&Ms, and you have to divide those between location, budget, style, and condition. And you only get so many, and you got to move them around, and it really helps.
And you don't have quite enough.
Yeah.
So it really forces you to think about your priorities.
Yeah, you're not Bill Gates here buying a home.
Then we get to eat the M&Ms at the end, so it's a win for all.
Got to be peanut M&Ms. How about you? Peanut?
Yeah, regular. So Dan, did you know that there's 2,500 down payment assistance programs available?
20? Wow. No, I didn't.
2,500. 2,500. I was just blown away by that. And less than 23% of consumers are familiar with those programs. So that's why we're here. So you can reach out to us and we can connect you with the
program that fits.
The money.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully we gave you some insight into what it takes to get a down payment. Yeah, 20% is going to give you probably the best possible interest rate-ish, depending on your credit.
And eliminates mortgage insurance.
Yep.
That's a big one.
But getting into a home, if that's a priority for you and your family, then let's talk about that. Essentially, that concludes our Real Talk segment for today. After the break, we're going to be talking with our lender, Michael Burdick. So please stay tuned. Come on back. Michael Burdick is Loan Depot.
We'll be right back.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Do you hate hiring? Of course you do. You spend hours poring over poorly written resumes, scheduling interviews for individuals who don't show up. And when you do hire, they often don't work out. It is a soul-draining experience that costs a fortune in energy, time, and money. Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting takes that pain and turns it into a pleasant, stress-free, concierge-style experience for the busy entrepreneur. We do the work, and you get to make your choice from 2 or 3 top applicants. For you, there are no resumes, no time-consuming interviews, and no mistakes. Why choose us? Well, we use tools and assessments that recruiters don't use. We partner with our clients through the entire process, and we commit to stick with you until you have a top performer in the right seat doing the right work. We can also provide additional coaching to further ensure high performance within 90 days. Our clients love the partner relationship we develop with them and come back again and again as they grow, change, and add more top-performing people. people. To learn more about our unique service, go to empowermentstrategiescoaching.com or call 425-254-0577.
Do you remember the feeling when you fell in love with and made an offer on your home? Green Design specializes in creating those magic moments for buyers by showcasing your home in its best light. Our expert home staging assures that buyers create an emotional attachment to your home. Tiffany and her talented staging team have quickly become one of the East Side's most respected home staging companies, having been awarded in customer satisfaction many times over by House. When it's time to sell your home with confidence, call Tiffany with Green Design's Home Staging to schedule your consultation. You can call or text 206-795-3686 or visit their website at greendesignsllc.com.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. It's now time for our Mortgage Moment segment. And during this segment, we get a quick update on the lending side of the home buying process. Today, again, we're talking with Michael Burdick, a loan consultant with Loan Depot. He's been serving borrowers at a very high level for over 10 years. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Doing good. Okay, big question here. And I'll give you a choice. You could tell us why Loan Depot, what differentiates you, or we've been talking about down payment assistance. Tell us what you got. You're on.
Well, I do think I can tie them both in. When you're thinking
That's
of
good.
going for choosing a lender, you obviously have choices. The best is when somebody on Facebook or social media says, "Do you know of any lenders?" And then you have like 30 people in the comments.
Yeah.
Right. But one thing I do love about my company is that we have access to lots of different programs. And if you get told no at your bank, or if you're not liking your terms, it's always good to check with a mortgage company that may have less strict guidelines. And then, down payment assistance is one of those that we offer. In fact, being the high-tech company I work for, we get a lot of these internet leads that come in, and I can tell that the call center lenders are just offering them the very vanilla FHA conventional programs. And then when they talk to me, I can say, well, did they talk to you about, down payment assistance? Maybe you don't have the funds available now, but if you'd still like to get into a house, interest rates are great on these programs right now. So that's one thing that I definitely pitch, and they're great programs. They're not for everyone, but and there's advantages and disadvantages to them, just like all other programs. But, don't think that you need to have 20% to put down on a home. There's many low down payment options and then zero down options as well. And
if I can tell a success story, we had a buyer about 2 years ago purchase a condo in downtown Redmond using Loan Depot's product. And I believe it was maybe 10% down maybe. It was pretty minimal down at the time. And it wasn't 2 years later that you guys reached out to them and said, hey, we can refinance this. Rates have gone down. And as a result of rates going down, it actually got them to 20%, 80% loan to value, which meant that they could then drop PMI, saving them hundreds of dollars just in the mortgage insurance, just like that. And that's the type of, if I can tell that story about you at Loan Depot, Michael, you were able to help save our client a substantial amount of money. And the other side of that story is it was a low down payment, right? So don't always think that you're stuck with only being 5% loan to value forever, because appreciation can make up quite a bit.
Absolutely. It's a great point. And, we love giving that news to someone that we can not only tell them that we're dropping their payment because of their interest rate improvement, but that we're knocking off that $150 PMI or whatever that ends up being. And
right.
Yeah, that's a great success story.
So it's more about just the one transaction. It's as far as our relationship with Loan Depot and with you, Michael, it's about that experience for the consumer for the long term.
Absolutely. It's all about, not just offering customer service, it's their experience before and after the loan. And I always tell people, while I'm in process and escrow, I'm your originator. After that, I move to a customer service role for you. So if you ever need anything, I'll be reaching out to you and you do the same, and I'll be watching rates for you to see if we can ever get you better terms.
All right.
Michael, great information for us this week. How do our listeners get a hold of you?
You can Google Michael Burdick Loan Depot. I'm local here out of Bellevue, Washington. So best number for me is 206-661-2289.
Excellent. After the break, we'll be talking to our guests for the week. First up will be Tiffany Greene with Green Designs LLC. who will help us answer a key question. Does the behind the scenes on staging day look anything like HGTV?
Nice.
Join us right after the break to find out.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Do you hate hiring? Of course you do. You spend hours poring over poorly written resumes, scheduling interviews for individuals who don't show up, and when you do hire, they often don't work out. It is a soul-draining experience that costs a fortune in energy, time, and money. Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting takes that pain and turns it into a pleasant, stress-free, concierge-style experience for the busy entrepreneur. We do the work, and you get to make your choice from 2 or 3 top applicants. For you, there are no resumes, no time-consuming interviews, and no mistakes. Why choose us? Well, we use tools and assessments that recruiters don't use. We partner with our clients through the entire process, and we commit to stick with you until you have a top performer in the right seat doing the right work. We can also provide additional coaching to further ensure high performance within 90 days. Our clients love the partner relationship we develop with them and come back again and again as they grow, change, and add more top-performing people. To learn more about our unique service, go to empowermentstrategiescoaching.com or call 425-254-0577.
Do you remember the feeling when you fell in love with and made an offer on your home? Green Design specializes in creating those magic moments for buyers by showcasing your home in its best light. Our expert home staging assures that buyers create an emotional attachment to your home. Tiffany and her talented staging team have quickly become one of the East Side's most respected home staging companies, having been awarded in customer satisfaction many times over by House. When it's time to sell your home with confidence, call Tiffany with Green Design's Home Staging to schedule your consultation. You can call or text 206-795-3686 or visit their website at greendesignsllc.com.
Get your daily dose of variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our first guest today is Tiffany Greene with Green Designs LLC, and she is one busy lady in real estate. As the owner of a thriving home staging business, her weekdays follow a pretty hectic pace. She loves the creative outlet provided by home staging, and most days you'll find her heaving couches, not having. That's weird. Sorry about that.
All right.
Heaving couches. Boy, that's awesome. Hanging art side by side with her crew. Tiffany Greene, the talent behind Green Designs Home Staging, is here to discuss this topic of today's real estate market. Welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Hi, Dan.
How are you?
Brian.
Hello.
So before we get into all the real estate stuff, let's talk about what you do at the very little time that you have free time available. What do you do? What are your hobbies and interests?
Oh, well, I'm a boy mom.
Yeah.
I've got a 6-year-old and 10-year-old.
Oh, nice.
And I'm a Cub Master wife.
Oh, nice.
So Cub Scouts play a pretty big role in our life these days.
Excellent.
As such, we also enjoy camping and outdoor activities.
Any fun camping trips recently?
No, we haven't had time this summer. But
funny.
we have managed to get out wheeling in our Jeep. So
Okay.
Four-wheeling. Small consolation.
Okay, so four-wheeling and camping are kind of the fun things.
Yep.
Awesome.
I love to golf and also spend a little R&R time on Whidbey Island.
Nice. Awesome.
We'd like to ask each guest to share with us a fond memory about the home they grew up in. Tell us about that.
I lived in Great Falls, Montana. So I remember fondly being able to pretty much walk out our front door and have an immediate sledding hill.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of time spent out in the snow doing that. In the summers, that same hill was great for big wheeling.
Okay.
And then had a huge trampoline in the backyard, which when Mom and Dad weren't home, we would sneak and jump off the deck onto the trampoline.
Yeah, nice.
You know, no liability issues there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 boys, and we recently learned, and they're all adults now, so this came out a decade later. They would scoot the trampoline over by the house, go up onto the second-story roof, and go from there.
That's pretty much exactly
boys.
what ours was.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. That's nuts.
That's crazy.
We didn't have a trampoline, so I just strapped a big piece of black plastic to my back like a parachute and jumped off the roof.
How'd that end for you?
That hurt really bad. That hurt really bad.
Oh.
So, all right, enough about the home stuff, but that sounds fantastic. I'm going to Whitefish in a few weeks, so I'm going to pick your brain on some places there. All right, so now that we talked about that, what do you want homeowners to know about staging and why it's important?
You know, staging creates a feeling of warmth within a home. Vacant homes just don't convey a welcoming feeling when you walk into them. Staging attracts the buyers online first, but then it reels them in when they actually get to come visit the home. And staging is also one of the highest return on investments that you can put into prepping your home for sale.
What would you say is because in your intro, it's that moment, right, of walking in, and there's an intangible value to that. But your 8 real estate agents, because Tiffany works for lots and lots of homeowners that are then referred by real estate agents. What feedback would you say real estate agents are? Tiffany, this is so important because.
You know, I would say that they're asking us to bring some life into each room.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call myself a color stager. We like to use some bright colors in bedrooms, bathrooms, areas that can be a little bit bland and don't have much else as far as architecture in the home. But we also work to play to each room and neutralize some of what the home may have going on, whether it be paint color or if we're working with a homeowner's furnishings that maybe need to just be neutralized a little bit.
Well, and I think about, for example, trim, right? Trim in a house sometimes can be very costly to replace.
Yes.
And if you're looking at a vacant house and you walk in and you see old trim, it catches your eye.
Right.
When you have a staged home and you're looking at the pillows and maybe the blanket over the couch or something, you're not even seeing that trim anymore.
No, staging is a lot of smoke and mirrors.
That's a good way to put it.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm creating a distraction a lot of times from things that we don't want buyers to focus on.
Yeah.
We want them to see the function and the way a space can be used, but we maybe don't want them to look at all the nail holes in the wall or the mismatch touch-up paint.
The dark side of the industry. No, that's interesting. I think, again, in my experience, a lot of it is the depersonalization as well, really giving the seller counsel on how to do that and how to prepare it for the most buyers. But that's interesting because I do see how you can draw attention to the things that you want to draw attention to. So, at what point in the process should the seller contact you about staging?
You know, there is a misconception that the stager should be contacted after all the repairs are done, after the paint, after the carpet, or once construction is finished, if there's remodeling going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we can come in very early in the process and reserve a future date for you. It allows us to reserve the best inventory. If there's something special that's going to make that property really stand out, I can hold it aside even a month or 2 in advance. So the sooner that you can have your stager come out and take a look, we have the ability to see past what's there right now and see what is going to be.
And there are things from a function standpoint that you could see early in the process that would help them guide the handyman showing up to do this. drapes to be removed.
Absolutely.
Blinds,
We can
stuff
certainly give some advice.
that could actually happen earlier in the process in order to make it more streamlined. So let's talk about the staging process. So from the initial contact to the sale of the home, what's it look like?
We're asked to come out and take a look, come through and take photos of every room. I get every angle so I don't miss a nook or a cranny that needs to be staged. And then I prepare a proposal that I get over to the homeowner or the agent. We have a couple of days for that to be reviewed before we ask for a deposit and a contract. That deposit holds the date.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, allows us to make sure that we hold the right inventory and enough of that inventory.
Yeah.
After the contract is in place, we wait for all the home prep to be done, and we like to follow the cleaners so that we come into an immaculate space, and we leave it better than we found it.
Mm-hmm.
After we're done, we're typically followed by the photographer,
Right.
and then right into open houses and being live on the market. Once the seller gets their house under contract, which is hopefully right away, we look forward to hearing from the agent or the homeowner that they would like to give us our 10-day notice to destage. And that needs to happen at least 10 days before the closing date.
Yeah, for sure.
So that we can work that into our schedule and get the furnishings out for the buyer.
And, Brian and I can speak to how our process works because we work very closely with Tiffany when staging a home. But, we'll meet with a seller, and the next thing we do once we get a commitment for them to be their brokerage of choice to help them sell their home, the first thing is generally the stager. The second thing is the inspection because we want to pre-inspect. And then our rhythm is we get everything done, including the white glove cleaning treatment, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday, and then the stager will follow right behind that. And once Tiffany's done, I don't know, you're not there for photography. Sometimes we have stagers that want to be there for the photographer because, believe it or not, the sellers sometimes move stuff.
Yes, they do.
They do.
And if the one thing I know about stagers is they're very particular about what they just did there because they're painting a picture. It's an emotion that they're creating, and it's very particular. It's very specific. And so
I hate when they touch my pillows.
your pillows. Yeah.
What was the one recently? You have to remove that. I'm not a such and such person. It's not for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's another thing, right, Tiffany? Because Brian and I sometimes make the stager the bad guy. We have to let the stager let them down to know that their wonderful family portrait isn't going to showcase their home very well. They've got to take it down. They've got to put something in place that neutralizes it. And I don't mean like it's a horrible picture. I mean, no, they're fantastic.
It may be a fantastic picture.
Absolutely.
But that's not what
But it's not the
buyer
future
wants
family
to
or
So
the
see.
future
the
buyer.
Velvet Elvis has to go.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, I want to ask the story. What's the oddest thing that you've ever had to say, that's got to go? Keep in mind, this is on the radio, so keep it PG.
A bright blue holographic Jesus photo.
Wow, bright blue, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Holographic Jesus.
Oh, funny. So what does a typical work week look like for you?
There's probably not anything that's typical about my work week in general, but every day is either a staging day or a destaging day or a planning day. Most days include all three of those things, where we start at the warehouse with trucks loaded from the day before, head out to our stage, get things rolling there, and then either me or my designer will head back to the warehouse and start designing for the next stage. Our guys will go pick up a D stage typically at the end of a day, bring it back and get it unloaded, and then reload those trucks to go out again the next morning.
Nice. Nice. So how long, from the time that you get that agreement to move forward, how long does it take from planning, delivery, and to install?
The heavy lifting usually happens in the warehouse.
The couch, what was it, the couch heaving?
The couch
No,
heaving, yeah. But really the hardest part of the job is the designing, and we have warehouses full of furniture. It's kind of like going through a garage sale and having to pick from what's available to make a house beautiful. I mean, granted, we have nice things in which to do that, but our inventory varies on a daily basis because it's coming in and going out in a continual flow. So
it's kind of a puzzle, like a Tetris game, sort of.
it very much is. So working with what we have and making sure it's going to fit and look good in the house that we're headed to is a big part of the process. And we generally do about 4 to 5 stages a week and 2 to 3 D stages.
Wow.
So I think you said earlier you call yourself a color stager. That is an interesting phrase. I like that. Do you have a favorite style or type of stage that you do?
You know, I actually love mid-century modern.
Oh, my.
I mean, my favorite stage, of course, is a house that's on one level. Mid-centuries tend to be those.
I've got one coming up for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's my favorite style of furniture. I just love and it's very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to do mid-centuries, but I'm also very, very good at the Pacific Northwest contemporary that we deal with a lot around here.
So what is this biggest misconception about the staging profession?
Well, that everything looks like a Joanna Gaines TV show.
Hey, guess who was just in Waco? This guy. So that's the big, what do you mean? I don't understand what you mean by that.
You know, when I watch Chip and Joanna on TV.
You actually watch them?
I do. I love them.
All right.
Everybody loves them.
Oh,
How can you not?
They are sweet, yeah.
Everything is so tidy in her process, and it always looks like
And you're
she's
calling,
alone.
You're
and
calling, no way.
There's no way she's doing all this work alone. And when her kids show up on site and have dinner with her or whatever, that's not real life at all. When my kids show up at a job site,
It's chaos.
I'm telling them not to touch anything.
That's funny.
Oh,
How do our listeners get in contact with you?
They can certainly give me a call or text at 206-795-3686 or visit my website at www.greendesignsllc.com, and that's GREENEDESIGNS
Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
After the break, we have in studio Theresa McKenna from Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting, who will be discussing her services of helping small businesses with their number one problem, finding the top performer to do the work you need done. This is a concierge-style staffing. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll be right back.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Do you remember the feeling when you fell in love with and made an offer on your home? Green Design specializes in creating those magic moments for buyers by showcasing your home in its best light. Our expert home staging assures that buyers create an emotional attachment to your home. Tiffany and her talented staging team have quickly become one of the East Side's most respected home staging companies, having been awarded in customer satisfaction many times over by House. When it's time to sell your home with confidence, call Tiffany with Green Designs Home Staging to schedule your consultation. You can call or text 206-795-3686 or visit their website at greendesignsllc.com.
Do you hate hiring? Of course you do. You spend hours poring over poorly written resumes, scheduling interviews for individuals who don't show up, and when you do hire, they often don't work out. It is a soul-draining experience that costs a fortune in energy, time, and money. Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting takes that pain and turns it into a pleasant, stress-free, concierge-style experience for the busy entrepreneur. We do the work, and you get to make your choice from 2 or 3 top applicants. For you you, there are no resumes, no time-consuming interviews, and no mistakes. Why choose us? Well, we use tools and assessments that recruiters don't use. We partner with our clients through the entire process, and we commit to stick with you until you have a top performer in the right seat doing the right work. We can also provide additional coaching to further ensure high performance within 90 days. Our clients love the partner relationship we develop with them and come back again and again as they grow, change, and add more top-performing people. To learn more about our unique service, go to empowermentstrategiescoaching.com or call 425-254-0577.
Working hard to put a smile on your face. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan.
Our next guest is Theresa McKenna from Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting. Theresa is an executive coach and small business consultant. She is an ICF professional certified coach, a leadership development trainer, certified communication specialist, and trained as a family counselor. She is on faculty at 2 schools of coaching. Theresa is a partner in Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting, which is dedicated to bringing tools for success to small business owners. Theresa, please tell us a little bit about what you're doing when you're not coaching.
I like to play in the mud.
In the mud?
Well, that's weird.
What's that about?
Well, I love to garden, and I'm a potter.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so I really like to play in the mud.
There you go.
Literally.
Literally.
I was thinking you were going to say something about your grandkids or...
Well, I do that too, but
They like playing in the mud, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
So since this is a show about homes, tell us about a fond memory you have of a home you lived in.
We lived in Switzerland for a while,
and
that was a delightful home. It wasn't that it was beautiful in the way that you expect to see an absolutely gorgeous home, but it was a traditional Swiss chalet kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. The Swiss Miss hot cocoa image.
And it was just such a change from anything that I had ever experienced before, and I really loved the romanticism of being in Switzerland and living in a Swiss home, knowing that I could walk out the door and a few miles up the road you literally could see cows with a little floral.
They do that to the
things.
Cows?
They do.
Put little flower
the
things
little
on there?
flower things on their head, because every year they go up into the meadows to graze, and it's a big festival. So it's really fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That sounds fun.
So tell us, how did you get into coaching and consulting?
Oh, coaching and consulting. Well, for a long time I was a counselor, and one of the things that really concerned me was that I didn't think that we were making enough progress doing counseling. It often felt like we were just revisiting the pain, and that's just not who I am. I was frustrated with not being able to see people move forward. And I love being able to see people really move forward and make changes so that they can achieve the success that they want.
Yeah. And, I think the service, one of the great service that we're going to talk about that you provide is recruiting and placement.
Right.
So
talent acquisition.
Thank you. Talent acquisition. So what makes recruiting for small businesses so difficult?
Well, let me just back up a moment here in that the reason that I got into this particular aspect of working with my clients is that this was a common pain. I love small businesses. I think that they're often the most underserved population. And so I really wanted to find ways to really help them. And they all said, I hate to hire.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And it is difficult because if they are not successful in hiring, it is a huge financial loss for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
And in addition to that, the most small business owners know their expertise. They know their expertise, but they often don't know how to run a business. And they definitely aren't trained in human resources, so they don't know how to hire.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake that they make is that they hire somebody that they like, but not someone who may have the capacities that they need. And so that's the thing that I find to be the most difficult for them. They don't know what it is that they're looking for. That's where I come in.
And I constantly see small, medium-sized business where they're trapped, right? They're stuck in this spot where they can't grow.
Right.
Because the principal is not only wearing the hat of the technician, but they're also then doing the accounting. And then they're also going and doing the marketing. And then and usually marketing suffers the most because so then their business can't grow to that next level because they haven't thought about what it really looks like to scale.
And they don't have the resources. And by resources, I mean the personnel
Human
that can
capital.
help them make that next jump.
So tell me a little bit about process. Do you do testing with
Well, we
your
do a
recruits?
more unique service, Brian. Thank you for asking that. Yes, we have a series of tools that we use to really help identify the inherent capacities within the applicants. So what happens with most recruiters is they get an applicant who comes in and the recruiter reads their resume and then makes a decision as to whether or not their resume is in line with what it is that they're looking for. Well, there are enormous number of factors that go into making sure that the right person is sitting in the right seat doing the right work. And the resume is only one of them. Their experience is only one of them. I want to make sure that they also have the capacity to do what it is that they need to have done, in addition to being able to have a good cultural fit or what their energy is and so on.
It's a big balance. And Brian, they're not tests, they're assessments.
Assessments, I get it. Thank you.
Yes,
For those
that's
with
true.
test anxiety, right? It's really just about who you are.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
assess
failed that
well, so
assessment.
there you
Brian
go.
has failed many crazy tests. No, I'm just
No.
joking.
I assess well.
What are the other benefits of using your services besides just the use of the tools that you provide?
In addition, we can help the business owner actually determine what the most effective position is really going to look like. So sometimes the owner has, or the business executive here has an indication in their head as to what it is that they're looking for. But with a thorough coaching audit, with an audit of the team and an audit of the whole process, we can determine what it is we really need to be looking for. Do we need someone who has a lot more of the customer service skills? Do we need someone who's got all of the data processing skills? What is it, and in what proportion do we need to have those in the next applicant?
Yeah, and full disclosure, I hired Theresa almost 3 years and 2 months ago. And she helped me hire my current director of operations, Gabby, who does a great
Gabby's
job.
a rock star. Gabby, hope you're
Fantastic.
listening.
Yeah. So my experience personally with that is it was great because it wasn't just about the candidate. It was also about, well, what's the culture we're looking for?
Exactly.
And when you're hiring people, you can do a couple of different ways. You can train to culture, or you can't really train to culture. It either exists or it doesn't. But you can grow talent, or you can hire talent. And for us, it was a need to grow because that's going to be a little bit more economical, right? But if you have to go out and hire talent, you're going to pay more at the end. Gabby's grown well, and we appreciate that so much.
Every applicant wants an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the other pieces that I think for business owners to understand, that as they hire someone, they have to be thinking about what the future is going to look like as well. Where are the opportunities for this person to grow?
So what tools do you use to find the top performers?
Well, we use a variety of assessments. I use an assessment called the Core Values Index to actually determine the inherent capacity of an individual. But I have some personality assessments. I have a conflict resolution assessment. I also work with the business owner and coaching them to find out, what it is that they see as the biggest issue. I may do a team audit of the entire team to find out where the gaps might exist for that team so that they can help grow. And then further, one of the most important pieces is after the person is hired, we can coach them through a success program that is called our First Quarter Performer program.
Oh, that's good. So you kind of guide them for the first 90 days, basically.
Exactly, to make them that top performer that the business owner is looking for.
That's awesome. So, okay, time to get real. Like we haven't already, but let's just pretend like
talk.
we're serious. Yeah, real talk. How effective are you at finding the right person?
I think my clients would say extraordinarily effective. I mean, I have clients who have been with me for maybe 6 years doing this. And if they have grown and they've changed, they come back over and over again because they find this service to be so valuable.
Yeah, I would echo that statement.
So how much does the service cost?
Literally a fraction of what you would pay to a big recruiter. Because our objective here is to really help small businesses. So we're not in this just for the big payout. We're really in this to help small businesses grow. And obviously we want to make a profit, but our objective here is to partner and co-partner with the business owners to help them grow and achieve what they want to.
That's great.
So what have been some of your biggest challenges in serving these small to medium-sized businesses?
Undoubtedly, the idea that a business owner thinks that they know what they want, but they don't have a recognition of what they actually need. So the value of being able to help them identify what the need is for this position and how to frame it within a posting, how to help them identify the gaps throughout the whole team that they are missing.
Yeah, and I know that Theresa has an immense amount of skill set across the gambit and can step in and look. You've run many businesses, large corporations, managed HR departments, that kind of thing. For the small businesses out there, what would be one tip that they would take value from after listening to this show?
So you're asking me what I would want them to take away?
Yeah.
I would want a small business owner to take away the idea that they don't have to hate hiring. They can actually hand this process over, and it will be far more cost effective than they would if they did it themselves. And they will get the high performer that they're actually looking for.
Awesome.
Wow. Do you have a favorite book for small business owners? You got a fave? Give me a couple.
Yeah, there are a lot of great books out there right now. But one of my favorites, particularly for small business owners, is one by a woman by the name of Beverly Kay, and the title says it all: "Help them grow or watch them go."
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Awesome. Well, how can our listeners get a hold of you?
You can go to our website, empowermentstrategiescoaching.com, or you can give us a call at 425-254-0577.
Awesome.
Theresa, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks. I really enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it as well.
Yep.
You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan at 1150 KKNW. After the break, we have some more Real Talk and, of course, some great final thoughts. We'll be right back.
Somebody wrote that for you.
They did.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Do you hate hiring? Of course you do. You spend hours poring over poorly written resumes, scheduling interviews for individuals who don't show up, and when you do hire, they often don't work out. It is a soul-draining experience that costs a fortune in energy, time, and money. Empowerment Strategies Coaching and Consulting takes that pain and turns it into a pleasant, stress-free, concierge-style experience for the busy entrepreneur. We do the work, and you get to make your choice from 2 or 3 top applicants. For you you, there are no resumes, no time-consuming interviews, and no mistakes. Why choose us? Well, we use tools and assessments that recruiters don't use. We partner with our clients through the entire process, and we commit to stick with you until you have a top performer in the right seat doing the right work. We can also provide additional coaching to further ensure high performance within 90 days. Our clients love the partner relationship we develop with them and come back again and again as they grow, change, and add more top-performing people. To learn more about our unique service, go to empowermentstrategiescoaching.com or call 425-254-0577.
Do you remember the feeling when you fell in love with and made an offer on your home? Green Design specializes in creating those magic moments for buyers by showcasing your home in its best light. Our expert home staging assures that buyers create an emotional attachment to your home. Tiffany and her talented staging team have quickly become one of the East Side's most respected home staging companies, having been awarded in customer satisfaction many times over by House. When it's time to sell your home with confidence, call Tiffany with Green Design's Home Staging to schedule your consultation. You can call or text 206-795-3686 or visit their website at greendesignsllc.com.
Get inspired every hour right here on Alternative Talk 1150.
Well, hello and welcome back to Real Talk on 1150 KKNW, AM 1150 KKNW. Let's get right into our final thoughts for the day. Brian, what do you got? What's your brilliant thought of the day?
You know, as you probably know, I'm a resident of Sammamish. My wife and I frequently go to the city council meetings.
So what's going on in Sammamish?
Sammamish, like many cities in our area, are struggling with growth, and there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of controversy over the all of the homes being built and traffic concurrency. So last night they had a special meeting because recently 2 concurrency certificates were issued to the Sammamish Town Center. So they're building 400 some odd homes, 59,000 square feet of commercial, and people are really, there's a lot of people right now that are just, residents that just want to put everything on hold until they get
take a time out.
And the thing that I found interesting was I wasn't surprised when I saw those concurrency certificates issued. What concurrency is in terms of traffic is that the roads have the capacity not only to handle existing traffic, but to accommodate the traffic that will be created by the new development.
And that's the most common complaint that probably anybody has about development is that the city municipalities don't plan for the movement. As I look out at, at 405 right here, jam-packed full of cars.
Right.
I mean, traffic is an issue.
Right.
One thing, one of my good friends who worked for INRIX said that the sign of a good economy is high traffic.
That's
right?
true.
So along the lines, I mean, listen, the city of Sammamish would not be building what it's building if the economy wasn't robust.
Correct.
And to get back to your story about the concurrency is, well, how do we move residents in and out of this town, especially when you add 400 more homes?
Well, and see, it's a process. And one of the things that they do is through planning, the TIP, the traffic plan, is a 6-year plan that's required by the state Growth Management Act
with King County.
And what they do is they assess traffic not only against existing roads, but against the future plans. And so that's how these concurrency certificates were issued. But my whole point here, what I want to get to, was it was a surprise to me that it was a surprise to others. And there was a very full council chamber with people that wanted to understand what's going on. So where I'm going with this is get involved.
Yeah.
If you want your voice to be heard, they always do a public hearing, public comment period where you can address the council, you can talk to city staff. I am, my experience working with the city of Sammamish is they are fabulous. The staff there, I can't say too much good stuff about them. They are helpful, accommodating. I hear criticism all the time, and I just think it's completely unwarranted. But the thing too is I'm involved. I'm educated as to what's going on. One of my lines, I'll hear people get up to the mic and they'll talk about the city staff is in the pocket of the builders, I'll turn to my wife and I'll whisper, ignorance is not a virtue.
Right.
And the way you avoid it is you get involved. You show up at the meetings, and if you don't want to go to the meeting, they're broadcast. They're broadcast live. They're also recorded. There's no reason not to know what's going on. And I find also that our city council, the mayor, the city staff, they're fabulous. If you send them an email, you're going to get a response and a thoughtful one.
Well, and it doesn't have a direct impact in affordable housing, but supply and demand do play a role in affordability. So by adding more homes, you're actually, reducing the amount of, increasing the amount of supply.
Right.
And while the demand will probably outpace that at this point, it's one of the big challenges. It's why they call them growing pains and not growing fun, right?
That's right.
It is a pain, but getting involved in your local city, get the details. The developers have to follow the rules.
That's
and
right.
If you don't like the rules that are done, get involved with getting those rules changed.
Tell the council to change the rules.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yep.
So anyway, the final thought is get involved.
Yeah, so if you're out and about and you want to have a good time, there's an awesome opportunity for date night. It looks like Unexpected Improv Comedy is at Post Alley in Seattle this weekend, August 30th and 31st. Tickets are $7.50, and the show starts at 8:30 Friday and Saturday. So sounds like a fun date night. I don't know if you know this about me, Brian, but I was a bit of a thespian in high school.
You were?
Very small
There you
bit.
go.
Like I was the one that walked on. I was like the extra walk-on. But that's about it.
Well, that concludes our show for this week. I want to especially thank our guests, Tiffany and Theresa, for coming today and speaking with us about their services.
Thank you, guys.
It was a great show.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Very informative.
All right, until next week.
Thanks for listening.